Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Lydia here with your full moon reading in Aquarius for August 19th, 2024. And you must excuse me, I have a cold and I'm going to be doing this reading as quickly as possible, so it's going to be a brief one. We're using the Moonology Messages Oracle by Yasmin Boland. She's my go-to for a lot of my full and new moon readings. But I've picked 3 cards and we're going to go right into them right away. So the first one I have here, I haven't looked at it, so Moon Magic Transformation. Now we have an opportunity right now to do a lot of transforming because the energies are very, very high and they're only getting higher. That said, then the transformation that is happening at this particular time is great. It is massive. The human consciousness right now is raising to an nth degree that we have never been seeing it before in all of our current incarnations, if we want to call it that. Is quite honestly, we don't actually know 100%. However, what we get on the inklings on the inside is getting to be more and more accurate. And my feelings, along with many others, many channelers and astrologers, are saying that we're going into a very massively high in consciousness that humanity has ever been. That said, that of course asks for transformation. And the moon is at a magical stage right now. We are feeling the effects of most of the celestial bodies more now than ever before. And we're only going to get more and more sensitive to it. And that's because we are becoming more aligned with the energies that are all around us. That makes us one. That includes our solar system, our galaxy, the universe, and the universes that are out there. So we are becoming more alike. And that means that we're also feeling more and more divine. And that divinity is coming forth more and more with our wisdom that is expressed with us. That transformation has not happened maybe in eons, maybe in a different civilization that's happened. But at this particular time, we haven't seen that. So let's look at Moon Magic Transformation and see what this has to say about where we're headed. I'm going to be reading the guidebook for this just because it has more information in here astrologically than I can actually give you. As we move through life, we can aim high or low. For example, when it comes to your current situation, any situation that might be in, that you might be in, you can hope for small changes, or you can aim for massive transformation that takes everyone involved to the next level, and that's what we're doing. There is magic afoot now, even if you can't yet feel it. You have the power to transform your life. Believe that whatever you're going through right now is what you have to experience to get where you want to go. A romantic situation can get better than ever when you draw this card, but do allow the universe to show you who the romance will be with. Now, I have something to say about relationships right now too in a few minutes. It could be with your current partner or someone else, but transformation is possible. If you're asking about abundance, know that transformation is possible in this regard too. We are always abundant, by the way. Either way, you have to believe in your powers and your ability to shape your life. Once you do that, align with the moon cycles. Set intentions at the new moon, and do release work at the full moon. And watch your life transform. Additional meanings that might apply to certain people. You can do this. Dig deeper. Now, that is something major that is happening right now. You're learning about your powers. Again, that's something else I'll talk about. Believe you've got the power, and this is a soul test. The moon has a magical quality about her. The fact that you're reading this suggests you're ready to tap into that. Go out into the moonlight and make some beautiful magic. Better yet, do it with like-minded souls. I like that. That's, basically calling everyone that is like-minded in your tribe. So one of the things I want to talk about for relationships at the moment, maybe this won't be a very brief reading. Anyways, I'm doing okay so far, so let's go on. The relationships at the moment are going to be somewhat strained. From what I am understanding astrologically, it is not a very pleasant time period, and this is actually what we're going to be seeing in the global arena at this point. We're seeing a lot more separation, and at the moment it's also affecting our personal relationships, whether that is with our significant other or friends or family, where it might just make things strained, or you might, because of the full moon too, there's energies with that, plus the eclipse is coming up, the eclipse season is coming up in September. We're feeling the energies rile us up a little bit, and that could cause some rifts. It could cause anger to come out in more bursts of not so wonderful communication efforts. So at this point, just be mindful of where your energy is coming from, where the energy of your words are coming from, specifically because certain planetary alignments are very forward when it comes to our communications with our relations at this time. Something else I wanted to say as well is that you can do this digging deeper. Mercury is in retrograde right now, and that said that basically it is allowing us to give us the opportunity to dig deeper within ourselves, to fix that does not belong anymore, or let go of things that no longer serve you or belong anymore. Learning about our powers. I want to say that basically between now and the end of the year, you probably, once again at the end of the year, look back and say, I don't know if I recognize myself in January of 2024. So you're learning about the new gifts and new spiritual powers that are coming to you. And there's more that I've been starting to feel a little bit more telepathic to a degree. That said, it seems to happen with people that are close by. I'll think about something that they're about to do or say, and all of a sudden that happens. So, and it's immediate. So that's a telepathic type of thought pattern, as well as psychic anyways. And I know that we all have this gift. So taking the time to acknowledge, be in gratitude to Spirit for all the gifts that you're getting, as well as the abundance, because this talks about abundance. We have this opportunity to have a lot of abundance at this time and to recognize it. The biggest thought is, again, recognizing it is sometimes not as something that it's not something that we normally do readily. So take the time to recognize that you are abundant and where you are abundant, and be grateful for that. Send out gratitude vibes, do a meditation on gratitude. Basically, send out gratitude to Spirit for all that you have in that regard. That will help you a lot to get past some of the issues that might come up, especially when it comes to thinking about maybe financially or economically or medically or whatever health wise that you might be feeling like you're lacking in. Let's go on to the next card. We have dark side of the moon, mystery. All right, so I'm going to speak on that. The dark side of the moon is basically that dark side of ourselves, but also the dark sides that we see out and about in the world. And so this is saying that we're going to be able to discern, or we're going to have to discern, using our intuition, what is darker in the world than we think it is. So, for example, sometimes we will have to figure out the truth on our own, because there will be several different sides of the truth that will be thrown at us, and we have to figure out whether or not it's true or not. And that is a difficult one sometimes, but at the same time, if you follow your intuition, follow your gut, then you will find your way, and that's something that we're starting to hone. Mystery. So that's something else I wanted to mention too, is that there's a mystery in our lives at the moment as well. Dark side of the moon, mystery. Drawing this card suggests that the way forward is not yet brilliantly lit, or brightly lit, so to speak. There is mystery surrounding your question. If you have a question there, you probably already sense that. It could be that someone isn't being entirely upfront with you. Don't be alarmed. It may simply be that whoever this question involves doesn't yet feel ready to show all their cards. I don't know. Or perhaps the situation you're inquiring about hasn't yet fully evolved to its final state. And at this point, it's just impossible to know the answer to your question. The best thing to do is to work with what you do know and surrender the need to know everything. On the one hand, it could be that the answer to your question is shrouded in darkness because there's some foul play happening. Yes. On the other, it could be that you just don't need to know more, at least not yet. And that is another yes. Stay optimistic now rather than focusing on any fears you have around your situation. So some things that might actually resonate with others. You have free will. Some things are better left unsaid. Trust the universe and see what happens. Face any fears around your question. See the glass as half full. About this symbol, the dark side of the moon is a super mysterious thing. Agreed? We never see it from here on Earth because of the way the moon turns. We know it's there and we know it's unknowable. This only makes us more inquisitive about it. Mystery. Now, there's that said, there's a mystery that we have within us, which is basically the knowledge of humanity and the knowledge of ourselves, where we come from, what we do, what we've gotten to get here, what our history is. And I believe that this is part of it. The mystery that is coming up is that which is within us. It's basically the messages that we need to know, the wisdom that we have within us is starting to come up, and we're starting to recognize it. That's helping our intuition to allow us to discern what is coming at us from the media or alternative media, wherever you get your information from. You're still going to have to discern that information. Now flip this. This is also talking about the current alignments, the planetary alignments, where Mercury in retrograde is basically having us to go into our dark sides, our darker sides, and find out what it is that we need to let go of. What is it that makes that part tick, and kind of let that go, or at least find a harmony with it, because every one of us has a darker side. We choose to be on the light side. We choose to show our light side and be on that light side. So that said, those who decide not to, and we might know who those are, then they've made a choice, and that choice, they're going to have repercussions for incarnations to come. We, on the other hand, have chosen a different side, the light. The light will always shed light into the darkness. Always, always. Even the littlest bit of light shining into the darkness will light it up. So having said that, we have the opportunity here to make this choice. To make the choice to see that dark side or darker sides of ourselves, the sides that we like to hide from other people, but we still need to deal with them. And then harmonize it, understand what makes it happen, what makes that part of us. That could also involve inner child work, where you're dealing with some deep-seated thoughts and patterns, behaviors that could have influenced you, or that you have done in the past that have influenced others. And this is one of those times where you will have to deal with it. As we grow higher in consciousness between now and the end of the year, and of course beyond, we are giving the opportunity to look into ourselves and to basically deal with that part. This could be karma influencing, and this is something that we need to deal with, we need to let go of, so that we don't form any other karma coming up in any other time periods. Now, we may not be making karma anymore. Just saying. Because this, for quite a number of us, this might be our last incarnation on this planet. So, having said that, this shows a big mystery. It's also talking about that somebody might be pulling the wool over your eyes. And if that is the case, if this actually is a personal situation, this is where you should also exercise personal boundaries. This is something important. Look at it as for what it is, and basically make that call. That's looking at somebody else's shadow side. So it's a good card for basically bringing that up and letting you know too, especially during this time of Mercury in retrograde and the planetary alignments, we're going to have to deal with this stuff. It's just a given. So let's look at the last card. Drawing down the moon, knowledge. Okay, so here's a beautiful thing about this is that we are in a state where we are drawing from within us, and that is the knowledge base that we have accumulated over incarnations, over lifetimes, and eons of times that we have lived. And it's important because this has now become wisdom. We can draw from our wisdom base. Now, knowing too that the moon signifies, the full moon will signify letting go of things. The new moon to rekindle something and or start anew of a different cycle. So knowing that we now have the capability of letting go of some things that weren't working for us, and then going into a new look at it, a new perspective. So if you have a project or even a relationship, you can look at this in a different way. This is actually asking you to look at your relationship, your project, your career in a different way, a different perspective, so that you can see whether or not you're actually learning from it, if you're passionate about it, if you are supposed to be leaving as well. This is another thing to really take into consideration, because the alignments are also showing us that we are going to have to make some hard choices in some cases. So having said that, let's take a look at drawing down the moon. I'll just find it here. Knowledge. There are some things we know because we learned them the old-fashioned or traditional way, and there are some things we know because we intuit them instinctively and on an energetic level. Drawing this card suggests that you're wiser than you know, but that to answer your question, you will need sacred knowledge that can't be found in a book or online. You are therefore advised to go within and call the goddess to you. Channel her thoughts and then journal about your experience if you have a favorite goddess you'd like to work with. Call her in. Alternatively, explore which goddess appeals to you and call her in by asking her to come to you in meditation, or simply close your eyes and ask, which goddess wants to come to me? However you do this process, ask the goddess to transmit the information you need. Whenever this card appears, it's also a reminder to stay on track with your moon practices. Set intentions at the new moon and release them to the divine at the full moon, and that's that cycle. So additional meanings that I believe would probably relate to some people. You don't yet have all the answers you need, but step into your wisdom and let the moon be your guide. And I do feel as though we're looking into that part of us that is becoming more and more knowledgeable, that we've gained so much over our incarnations that we can draw upon. And because that is given, we're getting gifts of that opportunity to be able to draw from that history that we have within us, then you should be able to actually find those answers. And the answers are within. If you feel doubt, that's an answer. I think that probably gives you that answer. So let's look at this again, just so that we can pull this all together. We have moon magic transformation. We're in a transformative time period, and this is a very transformative period, albeit it's very chaotic. It will be a very chaotic time this week in general, leading into the eclipse season in September, and of course there's the US election in November, and dare I say that's going to be interesting, I'll tell you. So between now and the end of the year, we're looking at some very major transformations. Now, transformations are wonderful. The events leading up to them are difficult, challenging. Transitions are always challenging. So we are in for a lot of challenges. Just beware, but also know that even though you are challenged, you can still be peaceful within when you choose to be peaceful. The dark side of the moon, mystery. We are in a mysterious time period because we don't know what's coming up. But on the inside, we have this knowledge, this wisdom base that is from all the incarnations past. Plus, we have an intuition. We are blessed with an intuition that allows us to discern what's truth and what is not, and what we have coming up that allows us to recognize what is truth and what is not. Then we've got drawing down the moon knowledge, and that's just right in line with this. We will also be getting more knowledge from other disclosures. So I feel as though the knowledge is just going to keep coming. We're going to start to recognize that it is knowledge, and it's new knowledge that for us right now, but it's new old knowledge because it's something that was some information or situations or circumstances that have happened in the past, but we had the wool pulled over our eyes. So in this case, we have a lot of things happening at this time, and the energy is just off the charts. Having said that, I wish you wellness and a healthy life at this particular time. I hope that this helps. I also want to make sure that you're not in fear of what's going to be coming up. It's just the way transformations go. We are seeing all sorts of things happening in the world, and those events you'll have to also discern whether or not it's truthful or not, whether the base conclusions that are come to or that are released in the media is true or not. So, and I'll just leave it at that. Having said that, be mindful of your truth. Know that you can speak your truth and be your truth, and that being at this time, the full moon in Aquarius, you're also humanity-based and full of love. So I hope this helps. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.